Good afternoon. I'm back in the comfort of my home here in Fish Hoek. Glad to be home. There's no place like home, as they say. Well, let's get right into word study. In my last study with you, I drew your attention to the fact that God asks us, pleads with us in Isaiah chapter 8, that we will, if we want to know what's going on, that we should rather consult with God. Instead of going to mediums, instead of going to sorcerers, etc. The interesting thing here is that in Daniel chapter 2, this pagan king, Nebuchadnezzar, consults with mediums, he consults with enchanters, magicians, sorcerers, and astrologers. Nebuchadnezzar has a dream. He can't remember the dream. And this is what he does. And dear friends, in the world we're living in, our leaders, those people we look up to guide us, are consulting with mediums. Should they not consult with God, the creator of heaven and earth? Should he not be the one that we should counsel regarding what is going to happen? I also told you that Daniel was equipped with wisdom from God in order to be able to interpret dreams and visions. I want to just divert slightly off this today, and I'm going to come back to Nebuchadnezzar and more about him in my next study. But I want you to see that when you go to the incorrect source, you can be misled. When nature becomes the God that we serve and nature dictates to us what is going to happen, then we have the story that is going on around us in the world today. And that is that because of the ozone layer being damaged and because of the polar caps melting, that there's going to be a total flood of the world. That the world is going to be destroyed by a flood, and everybody's attention is drawn to a flood. God promises, and I want to show you this, the God of creation makes an agreement with mankind. In Genesis chapter 9, we are told of the story where Noah and his sons and their wives come out of the ark with all the animals that had gone in with them. They had been on the waters for approximately a year. And when they came out, God talks to them and he says, "Be fruitful and increase in number and fill the earth. The fear and dread of you will fall upon the beasts of the earth and all the birds of the air, upon every creature that moves along the ground, and upon all the fish of the sea. They are given into your hands." So God makes his promise. He says, I'm going to put fear into creation. Those animals that come out, they will fear you. They will not attack you. They would rather run away from you. Then he says this. Then God said to Noah and to his sons with him, "I now establish my covenant with you and with your descendants after you, and with every living creature that was with you, the birds, the livestock, and all the wild animals, all those that came out of the ark with you, every living creature on the earth. I establish my covenant with you. Never again will all life be cut off by the waters of a flood. Never again will there be a flood to destroy the earth." God is making a promise here. God says, never again will there be a flood that will destroy the earth. He then goes on. And God said, verse 13, "This is the sign of the covenant I am making between me and you, and every living creature with you, a covenant for all generations to come. I have set my rainbow in the clouds, and it will be a sign of the covenant between me and the earth. Whenever I bring clouds over the earth, and the rainbow appears in the clouds, I will remember my covenant between me and you, and all living creatures of every kind. Never again will the waters become a flood to destroy all life. Whenever the rainbow appears in the clouds, I will see it and remember the everlasting covenant between God and all living creatures of every kind of the earth." Here God makes a covenant agreement, and he puts the rainbow in the sky to remind us, as well as those in the future and in the past, that he will never destroy the world with a flood again. Dear friends, the rainbow is there to remind us that God did destroy the world with a flood, but he will never destroy the world with a flood again. He's got another means of doing that. So when we are unsure about what's going on, instead of running to and fro on planet Earth, should we not consult with God? And then if we have consulted with God, should we not believe his word? I'm going to show you some amazing things about this. When you go to God's word and you ask him for counsel and his word is spoken to you, you can take that to the bank. You can be sure that what God has said, it will never return to him empty, but will always accomplish the purpose for which he sent it. Isaiah 55 verse 11. Go and read that. May God guide you today. May you not allow the wisdom of the world again to confuse you as to what God's intentions are. Never again will he destroy this world with a flood. That's his promise. Maybe it's time we should start telling all the others about that. Don't you agree? May God bless you today.